This was a joke. This was not a joke. A joke. This was not a joke. Like none of this was a joke. This was not a joke. A joke. Entertainment. 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 Entertainment.
What is catastrophic disclosure of catastrophic disclosure? And don't forget, what is catastrophic disclosure of catastrophic disclosure? And don't forget,
controlled disclosure
of catastrophic,
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 controlled disclosure
of catastrophic, societal disruption,
catastrophic disclosure
catastrophic,
catastrophic disclosure
societal disruption,
catastrophic disclosure
catastrophic,
catastrophic disclosure
catastrophic disclosure, 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 catastrophic disclosure,
psychological, theological, and psychological, philosophical,
theological, and psychological, theological, and psychological, philosophical, theological, and psychological, theological, and
psychological, philosophical, theological, and psychological,
theological.
Truthseekers, seek of truth. A truth so bold it's hard to hold. Truthseekers, truthseekers, yeah. Place the cash, place the cash.
Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome back. We are back on track and ready to attack another round tonight. And tonight we're going to be focusing on the profits of disclosure. That's profit with an F. And I've got a lot to share with you. Welcome, one and all. I just want to make a technical note. Whatever the issue was with our Instagram live feed for yesterday's show has been resolved. We're broadcasting live on Instagram right now as I speak. So please do follow me on Instagram. It's at Truthseekers Show, one Truthseeker, the word show, all one word, at Truthseekers Show. Feeling a little lonely over there. It's an old Instagram account, but since they're now, that I've never really used, but since they're now allowing live streams, it's a new distribution point for us, and we welcome all our new friends on Instagram. Please go over there and give me a follow at Truthseekers Show. I'll be using that Instagram account to post imagery. One image I forgot to post today, but I will be doing so later, and we'll get more into that as the show progresses. But first, we want to take a moment to recognize and welcome everybody in the live chat. Already a great attendance. So, just a note about catastrophic disclosure. Isn't it interesting how all of these UFO circle jerkers just jump and start using the phrase that they're told to? It was like coordinated. Let's all start saying catastrophic disclosure, because that'll be a great idea. And what's the idea behind catastrophic disclosure? It's one big bluff. Oh, if the government doesn't give us the truth about the aliens and UFOs, then we'll bring about catastrophic disclosure. Great. Where's the evidence? Drop it, bitches. But they never do. Just another bluff in a long line of bluffs from these garbage peddling disinformation scumbags that we've been covering here for far too long. And, I do apologize. Occasionally I get a message and it's from somebody that's still on the fence or a true believer saying, well, why don't you cover more real stories, Stephen? Well, send them to me. We start every investigation fairly, objectively, and with an open mind. It's not my fault if the story is fake. Do you want me to just lie to you and pretend it's not? There's plenty of people doing that, by the way. Do you know how many, this Jon Stewart's making the rounds. Do you know how many people circle jerked him? The whole story falls apart when you know that everybody involved in that whole documentary was a proven hoax promoter, an accepted hoax promoter. And the guy asking the questions is the same guy answering them when you take the voice disguiser off. That's called deception. That's proof of a hoax. Why are we still talking about this? Why are people hosting this guy without hitting them with the evidence like we did? Because everybody, I hate to say it, but there's so many people that are just doing a piss poor job. Oh, just let them talk. Maybe it's real. No, there's clear-cut evidence it's fake, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend so that you can get your disclosure boner on, okay? And sorry if I'm ruining disclosure boners worldwide, but we're covering stories honestly. Imagine that. Imagine that. We're not going to lie to you. We're not going to show you flares and pretend they're an alien spaceship. We're not going to do any of that. So tonight we'll be talking about the profits of disclosure, P-R-O-F-I-T, of course, the profits of disclosure. And there's a lot of them out there. And there seems to be a recent, the one good thing about these clowns is that they will essentially promise you all kinds of things. And say stupid things. And recently, in Jeremy Corbell's docu-series, he essentially said him and George Knapp don't get paid for UFOs. And I called bullshit on that. After all, anybody, it's public record, can know that Jeremy Corbell had a 3-film deal all around the UFO topic. So you mean to tell me he didn't get paid for those 3 films? He said in his own docuseries, him and George Knapp don't get paid for UFOs. Well, then give all the money back, scumbags. How about you just give all the UFO dollars back, you two, right? Neither of you. How can you stand there in your own docuseries and with a straight face say, me and George Knapp, we don't get paid for UFOs. I have a real job. No. You're buying $1.8 million properties, claiming that you're flipping houses, like you're wearing work boots, right? Come on, dude. When's the last time you worked on a construction site? This is all a deception. And oh boy, in this recent episode of theirs, Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp are going ape shit because their whole grift is coming crashing down. And I'm happy. I helped make that happen. Good. Get a real job, you two slobs. You have made enough money from the UFO community selling your fake nonsense. Time to get a real job, both of you. But Jeremy Corbell hasn't had a real job his entire life. You know, he was a warrior yoga instructor. I bet you his parents paid for that for him. Then he was an MMA fighter. Did your mommy and daddy pay for all of that? Then he invented his own form of jujitsu that doesn't exist, quantum jujitsu. Did his mommy and daddy pay for that? Then he decided that him and his girlfriend or wife were artists, and they literally made satanic art. That's what they did, satanic-themed art, right? This is the guy who is a UFO expert, a talking head on all the news shows. He's on CNN and Fox talking about UFOs. Really? Did you know that he's been selling fake nonsense for his entire career? We're going to break it all down for you tonight. Welcome one and all to what will be a fun event tonight. We're going to break it all down for you. I notice we have somebody very kind and generous in the live chat already. We have Goblin Mode with a kind and generous £2 super sticker. Thank you for that. And also Goblin Mode with a kind and generous £1.99 super sticker. We want to thank all of you kind and generous benefactors. We are very blessed. We will continue to be blessed. And we thank you all for your kindness, generosity, and support. We're a viewer-supported show. And unlike Jeremy Corbell, who just sells you lies, you know, we have to do our due diligence here and actually provide people with verifiable evidence of our claims. By the way, we have a proven track record of accurate reporting. These people can't say that. They can lie and pretend they do. Thank you, Goblin Mode, for helping us to praise the cash, getting those in early. We take a moment to recognize and thank the live chat for their kindness, generosity, and support. Oh, and look at that. So generous. Talmud gifted 10 Truthseekers memberships. That's $50. They're $5 a month is our membership here. And by the way, you just get a couple extra goodies and you get a member's badge. But by the way, that's a reason you should smash that subscribe button, because YouTube, when somebody gifts membership, just goes through our subscriber list and randomly gifts those free memberships to people who are subscribers but not yet members. So smash that subscribe button. We thank you, Talmud, for your kindness, generosity, and support. We're praising the cash tonight, bitches.
Praise the cash, praise the cash, praise the cash.
All right, so we're going to get into our presentation. We want to welcome the live chat as well. Thin Lizzie Borden thanking Talmud. It really does help out. It really does help. So we're going to begin tonight with Jeremy Corbell's claims, because the good thing is Jeremy Corbell essentially claiming, you know, nonsense that he doesn't get paid. But one of his ass-licking, cult-like Kool-Aid drinking followers took to Twitter to defend him. Now, remember, Jeremy Corbell said, I don't get paid for UFOs. And somehow, this ass-licking fan of Jeremy Corbell's does this breakdown showing that he does get paid, but it's not that much money, proving that Jeremy Corbell verifiably lied in his own docuseries. Full stop. Why are we still talking about this? Oh, he gets paid, but it's not very much. Then why did he lie through his teeth and claim he doesn't get paid for UFOs? But we'll get into this. So, and you know, I'm telling you, I hate to be so harsh, but I have no more patience for stupid people. I'm not going to do it anymore. So if you're one of those Kool-Aid drinking cult members that's posting like proof, and by the way, this analysis is completely factually wrong and leaves out everything, right? But it's okay. So somebody named Lester Nair, who, by the way, oh, you got a shout out from your hero, Jeremy Corbell, for licking his butthole and trying to defend him lying through his teeth in his own docuseries claiming he doesn't get paid. So I say, congrats on defending a lying scumbag who keeps getting caught peddling completely fake stories. You got a shout out for helping him squirm out of his 100% false claim, I don't get paid for UFOs. And your analysis is also wrong. So, I don't understand. This is the cult. oh, he completely and totally lied about not getting paid for UFOs, so I'm going to defend that lie. You are defending a lying scumbag. But here we go. The prevailing narrative that financial gain is the primary catalyst behind the surge in UAP UFO discourse is not just oversimplified, it's completely untrue. This assertion, often perpetuated by journalists without evidence, I don't need evidence, you idiot, because I could do third grade math. Go add up the monetized views on YouTube, you idiot. Paints a picture far removed from reality. Consider the entire UAP media landscape. How does its market value stack up against other sectors? The truth is, when you dissect the financial backbone of UAP-centric organizations, weighing their capital investment against actual profits, the numbers tell a different story. While you're saying that the people saying this is all about money don't have evidence, where's your evidence of all these statements? You just made like 5 statements with no evidence. This is an opinion piece. Surprisingly, one could argue that the monetary returns from dedicated UAP media endeavors pale in comparison to something as commonplace as dog sitting. Then here's where he defends his cult leader. Let's take at Jeremy Corbell, for example, since he was referenced directly in the New York Magazine article. He is often cited as an exemplar of what the author calls the American saucerism's profitable loop. Yet a closer examination of his theoretical earnings quickly unravels that narrative. So now this person who doesn't even know Jeremy Corbell, doesn't have access to Jeremy Corbell's financial records, is suddenly an expert in Jeremy Corbell's finances, right? Corbell, a quote, key influencer in the UAP sphere, ostensibly has limited avenues for monetization: YouTube and podcast ads, merchandise sales, streaming revenue from film. Conspicuously absent from his portfolio are news appearance fees. Well, do you have his tax returns? Is News Nation paying him? Is TMZ paying him for appearances? Is he getting paid for guest appearances on podcasts? Is he getting paid for those videos which he puts his watermark on? Brand endorsements, a rarity in this niche. Government contract. He is not a technical SME. Let's break down the numbers. And here's where it gets ridiculous. This person is claiming that Corbell hits 1 million views monthly, a generous estimate, given that his milestone is 1 out of 12 months. The math doesn't quite add up to a gold mine with a 60% ad fill rate and an average $2 CPM. Where are you getting $2 CPM? Where did you get $2? Show me Jeremy Corbell's real CPM. Jeremy Corbell, you can post a screenshot of your YouTube channel's CPM. Then we'll know how much you're getting paid. But this guy, completely and totally lowballing everything, his net monthly YouTube revenue after platform cut stands at a mere $660. Well, even if that were true, then you just proved that Jeremy Corbell lied through his teeth in his own docuseries because he said he doesn't get paid for UFOs. Even if it is $660 a month, which that is a completely and totally lowball bullshit estimate that this guy just made up out of his asshole. He doesn't have any of the numbers. Show me a YouTube channel with a $2 CPM. I'll wait. No, they average anywhere, I don't know, $8 to $20 is most people's CPM. I asked around. Podcasts, albeit with a higher CPM of $4 due to engaged listeners, would only bump his earnings to $1,320 monthly. Again, even if he's only getting $1,320, then he lied in his own docuseries. Merchandise. I don't care about merchandise sales. I make about $10 a month selling our, shirts and stuff. I have no problem with people selling merchandise. But here he goes on. Annual total. These channels would yield Corbell an annual tax income of approximately $45,000. Even if that were true, that means he's making $45,000 selling completely and totally fake stories. And you're defending him, you idiot. Why are you defending him making $45,000 even for selling completely and totally fake stories? And by the way, we're going to break it all down for you. Every story this guy sells is completely and totally fake. So who cares? Even if he did make $45,000, which I think is a gross underestimate of what he actually makes. And by the way, Corbell, show us your YouTube statistics. and prove that you only make 45,000. Did you put this useful idiot up to this to try to defend you lying, saying that you don't get paid for UFOs? Right? Why would you stand there? Why would he stand there in front of his own cameras and say something as stupid and foolish as, me and George don't get paid for UFOs? Yes, you do. Even your supporters have to admit you made at least 50K. At least 50K selling completely and totally fake stories. And even if that's all he made, by the way, where's the streaming revenues? You didn't add that in, right? Where's the royalty fees from all those videos that all the news stations are playing with his watermark on them? What about the money deal with Tubi? What about the money deal with TMZ? What about the money deal with News Nation? You have no idea what this man is getting paid. But what we do know is that he walks around with a $75,000 watch. He gets out of a $135,000 SUV, and he just bought a $1.8 million property. So tell me how he's doing that on a $45,000 annual UFO salary. Oh, wait. This is a joke. This is a joke, and even this joke proves that Jeremy Corbell provably lied to all of his followers when he said he doesn't get paid. Anybody can see he's getting paid. I guess the debate is, how much is he getting paid? By the way, he bought that $1.8 million property not long after the Bob Lazar documentary. So, gee, maybe those streaming fees are a lot more lucrative than people are estimating, right? And that's just the beginning of us following the money. And by the way, just want to take a moment to remind everybody, in case you forgot, we're also covering this Grush story tonight because this is one of those, I still can't believe that this is the case, but this is the case. I'm going to share my screen here just so we remind you of the tally now. So the Dave Grush story has been going for 246 days now. 246 days of Dave Grush making huge claims like the government's in possession of alien spaceship and crashed bodies from aliens, non-human intelligence, whatever, alien biologics, whatever you want to call it. There's a huge, vast cover-up and conspiracy, right? But 246 days now, David Grush has shown zero evidence of any of his claims so far, unless you count a fake Italian UFO crash, the details of which were added to by one William Brophy, known UFO hoax promoter, profiteer, and proven lying scumbag that Jacques Vallée also used to sell a completely and totally fake story. That's his only evidence? So 246 days now, Dave Grush has been making these huge claims. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars has been generated. And no, I don't need to provide evidence of that because anybody that could do first grade math can go look at all the monetized YouTube views and know that I am correct in that Dave Grush and people covering Dave Grush have amassed more than hundreds of thousands of dollars in monetized earnings so far off of his completely and totally evidence-free claims, right? Well, let's talk about his credentials some more because we can't talk about the evidence he has. You know why? Because he doesn't have any. And what whistleblower in the history of whistleblowers waited 246 days to drop their smoking gun proof of their claims? It's never happened ever before. He does not even deserve the term whistleblower. Whistleblowers have evidence. Whistleblowers have consequences. Whistleblowers don't get documentary deals or chief operating officer jobs with other UFO grifters in their nonprofit organization pushing alien bullshit. They get prosecuted. There's consequences. So far, his only consequences are getting a documentary deal, getting a Joe Rogan appearance, right? And by the way, just to be clear, I don't know what money Grush is making. I keep asking, what's his cut of all of this? What is Dave Grush's cut of all the hundreds of thousands of dollars being generated? But let's get back to my favorite two grifters, and that would be Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp, because I think, this is just one of those things, right? So first, oh, and by the way, yeah, that guy who This is great. The guy who did the fake breakdown of how little money Jeremy Corbell is making. Well, good for him. He got a shout out, right? That's what you get. You get a thank you for helping the Grift Squad push their fake story. Great. Let me just share my screen. And let me put my fair use banner up just so that we're clear. This is a transformative work. We are educating the public. We will be critiquing and discussing the video which we are sharing here. This is a transformative work. This is fair use. This is the textbook definition of fair use. I just want to put this out there. This is what you get for defending a scumbag. He thanks you on his podcast.
But, look, a lot of people have come kind of intellectually. They've come to the defense of truth. And I've really, really liked that. There's a dude named Lester online.
They've come to the defense of truth by lying for Corbell. How is it a defense of truth when this guy is helping you lie your way out of a completely and totally factually inaccurate statement that you made in your own docuseries claiming that you and George Knapp, who are right now sitting on a monetized podcast claiming you don't get paid for UFOs, talking about UFOs. Oh, that guy's defending truth? No, he's defending a lying scumbag, Jeremy Corbell. A lying scumbag, George Knapp. George Knapp, do you have absolutely no integrity left? I know you're like 90 now, right? You got enough gray matter left to put it together that maybe your idiot protege here shouldn't have told everybody in your own docuseries that you two clowns don't get paid for UFOs?
And I think he lives in LA. I'd love to meet the guy sometime. He's such a deep thinker. He's going through this whole thing about when people are like grifting on UFOs and how much they're making. And he was pretty, it was like a really cool thing. He's not like,
oh, it's a really cool thing that he's defending me lying in my own docuseries, claiming I don't get paid for UFOs. It's really cool.
Aside, but it's
really cool of him. Yeah, he must have drank the Kool-Aid.
It's like, look at this ridiculousness, and let me illuminate it. So that was a guy on Twitter I thought was like,
yeah, oh, it's so ridiculous. Show us your tax returns, Jeremy Corbell. Show us your tax returns. Show us the breakdown of how much of your income last year was solely from your UFO endeavors and how much was from something else, you liar. Show us your tax returns. Show us the receipts, buddy. Or did you provably lie in your own docuseries like the lying scumbag you are?
Like really kind of smart the way that he approached stuff. I liked it. But
oh yeah, you liked it. You like it when somebody's lying to help you cover. And that's the thing about lying. Jeremy Corbell lies in his own docuseries, then his idiot followers have to pile more lies on top of that. But even in doing so, prove that Jeremy Corbell lied. Even if this dummy is correct that Corbell only made $45,000 from UFOs last year, he still lied in his own docuseries claiming he doesn't get paid for UFOs. It's ridiculous. This is where we're at. It's a goddamn clown show. All right. And we're going to get into one more. This, and it's so funny too. We might cover this entire weaponized podcast because this thing, Jeremy Corbell is like melting down, right? Because people are saying that he's not the disinformation. First, he's calling Kirkpatrick a liar and a piece of dog shit and all this other stuff. Then he says that he's not the disinformation agent that Tim Burchett was talking about in a recent interview, which I find kind of funny because if you're not a disinformation agent, how come every story and piece of information that you put out turns out to be completely and totally fake? Sounds like that is a disinformation agent. Why is all of your stories completely and totally fake, Corbell? None of this makes any sense, right?
I've seen some of this gossip going around. Like the funny one to me was our buddy Representative Burchett, right? He said on something that, some people get disinformation, but they're not even aware of that. And some idiots like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, that's Jeremy Corbell. Okay, cool, man. So I'm like texting with Burchett and we're laughing together. We're laughing. because, you know, we have talked about this a bunch, like
Yeah,
who's getting
Jeremy's laughing all
false
the way to the
information
bank.
and doesn't know it. I mean, look, this is part of the game. I don't need to do.
This is part of the game. Getting fake information and not knowing it is part of the game. This is rich, man. This is just
defend
awesome.
myself. I'll let Burchett say something if he wants to, but it's not you and me getting that stuff.
It's not you. He just said it's not him and George Knapp getting that false information. All their information is real. Well, we're going to give you a breakdown of some of their fake stories. And yes, they're being fed that information from somebody within the government. And they're putting it out as alien spaceships and other things, and it's clearly not. So who is the disinformation agent? Who's getting disinformation and disseminating it to the public? Just because some idiot emails you a video and tells you it's a jellyfish spaceship doesn't mean you have to put it out as that. But that's what you do. You put out garbage, fake stories for cash. And no, I don't believe that this idiot is only making $45,000 a year, right? I believe that he has made collectively hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, in his UFO endeavors. But I love that he's not I'm not that disinformation. I'm not getting disinformation. All of my information is completely and totally real, right? No. And I've got some slides to share with you. We're going to get into this. I'm going to give you a practical guide that may be helpful. Red flags for spotting a disinformation agent. And I think this is important. And I think that we have to recognize and understand that there are people, that's all they do is spread fake information, misinformation, disinformation, false information, fake stories. And isn't it great? They get to profit incredibly from this completely and totally fake information. So I've made a note here, red flags for spotting a disinformation agent. Also made another note, they become easier to spot over time. Now, when Jeremy Corbell first came onto the scene, people would give him the benefit of the doubt. But as time went on, fake story after fake story after fake story, it became easier to spot that Jeremy Corbell is nothing more than a disinformation agent. He would be considered the textbook definition of a government disinformation agent, largely because he claims his information is coming from government sources, but all of his information is fake. And then he puts it out. That's the textbook definition of a government disinformation agent. Next, I say, consider the person's track record on accuracy of information they have put forth or presented over time. Track record matters. And so here are some red flags that may indicate that, yes, Jeremy Corbell is a government disinformation agent. There, I said it. Or let me say it this way. I believe, it is my personal opinion, based on all available evidence and his proven track record of taking information from apparent government or alleged government sources and then putting it out and it turning out to be completely and totally disinformation. Based on that track record, it is my opinion that Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp are government disinformation agents. And these are the red flags. Pyramid spaceships. That was one of their big ones, right? Big story. Oh, there's pyramid spaceships and they're buzzing aircraft. They're buzzing Navy ships. And we got the video of it. But the video, which was provided to him apparently by a government source who leaked it to him, it turned out to be bokeh and lens artifact. In other words, a completely and totally fake story. It wasn't pyramid spaceships from the planet Xanadu. It was bokeh. It was drones and bokeh. In some of the video, the stars themselves were claimed to be alien spaceships. When viewed through this triangular aperture, it made them appear to be triangular. Completely and totally fake story. That's one red flag. And you have to ask yourself, how many red flags that somebody is a paid government disinformation agent do you need before you have to come to that conclusion that this person is a paid government disinformation agent? Now, I don't know if the government's paying him, but we sure can. Just doing an audit of his monetized YouTube views show that he's getting paid to put completely and totally fake information into the conversation here. All of his stories turn out to be completely and totally fake. Another red flag, 29 palms, giant triangle craft, right? Oh, it's the size of a football field. It's a giant craft, giant craft, giant craft. Then he said he never said spacecraft. Well, he said craft 37 times. It wasn't a craft of any kind. It was flares and nothing mysterious. He claimed that he worked on that story for 2 years, but somehow missed what everybody else found out 5 minutes after he broadcast the story, that there was military exercises right in the exact place and time, the location of the sighting, and yes, they were dropping flares. So it was nothing mysterious. Another fake story, a big red flag. Then we have the Baghdad Phantom, which was essentially a missile. Nothing extraordinary, a completely and totally fake story. Sometimes surveillance platforms will pick up missiles or rockets on a surveillance platform, especially over an active conflict zone. And that's where he got it from, a government source who gave it to him and told him it was an alien or a UFO or a spaceship. That's government disinformation, and he put it out. Government supplied, we could say government supplied disinformation, since he claims that all of these things came from government sources who leaked it to him. So is he a useful idiot? Is he in on does he know he's a disinformation agent? Or does he just think that he's such a rock star of UFOs that all these people in the government are feeding him real, alien spaceship videos? And by the way, none of them turn out to be alien spaceship videos. They all turn out to be something completely and totally ordinary. Then there was the Mosul Orb, a balloon, another fake story. Then there was the jellyfish UFO, which turns out to be more balloons, another fake story, another red flag. Then there was the chandelier UFO, which was not in any way, shape, or form an actual UFO. It was a diffraction pattern as seen from a certain surveillance platform looking at the back end of a missile. Another completely and totally fake story. Not aliens, not a UFO. Easy to identify. Another red flag. Chandelier UFO. Completely and totally fake story. Then we get to Bob Lazar, who he made how much money from, and still refuses to admit that Bob Lazar is not now, nor was he ever, a government scientist. Full stop. End of story. The whole story falls apart just based on that. But I could give you an hour of why Bob Lazar is a completely and totally fake story. It's enough to say it's another red flag that he and George Knapp pushed this completely and totally fake story of a fake scientist convicted pimp who never worked at Area 51. There, I said it. Another red flag. So there are red flags for spotting a disinformation agent. How many times, this is like Lucy in the football with Charlie Brown. Oh no, I won't pull the football away. And we've covered this before, and last time I said that Jeremy Corbell is the boy who cried alien spaceships, like the boy who cried wolf. How many times is he going to cry alien spaceships before everybody says he's full of shit? These aren't alien spaceships. He's getting fed government disinformation agent. Then his fake information is dominating the entire media landscape. I'm going to say that one more time because this is an important point. His government-supplied fake information that is being leaked to him by his own admission, by government sources, is dominating the conversation, is dominating the entire media landscape on the internet, on news stations, and it's all fake information supplied to him by his apparent or alleged government sources who are telling him things like, these are alien spaceships or these are something extraordinary. And in each and every one of these cases, there's a reasonable, prosaic, ordinary, earthly explanation for what is depicted in these videos or still images. Then there's the issue of, if somebody was a sanctioned government disinformation agent, would they get a pass on things like, oh, I don't know, possessing classified material and using that in their stories that they're selling? I would think so, but I'm just speculating there. There has to be a reason why nobody's been prosecuted for all these apparent government leaks of sensitive, some would say in some cases, classified information. In one case, the Mosul Orb, he shared a still image from a video that was played during a classified briefing about UFOs somewhere within the government. It would be illegal for him to even possess it, let alone distribute it. Why has he not been prosecuted, right? Oh, because he's a journalist now. No, it may be because he's getting a pass because he's working for the company, bro. Now, we'll move on to some other avenues to explore. I've got a great more to share with you this evening. We'll take a moment to recognize and welcome the live chat once again. We're going to go to the next contestant on prophets of disclosure. And isn't it interesting how some of these prophets of disclosure are, literal lying scumbags? And I don't understand you true believers, right? Like, if you really want disclosure, do you think these people that keep getting caught selling completely and totally fake stories are going to do anything to help that effort? Or are they making this whole subject worthy of mockery? You know how some people, if you mention UFOs or aliens to them, they go, they say, oh, that stuff's all fake. It's because of people like Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp and others that we're covering tonight that people think that. Because these people infect this whole, they infect this whole subculture with their fake information, false information, and ridiculous fake stories. Now we're going to get to the next contestant on Disinformation Bingo tonight. And that would be Bryce Zabel. I think that's how you say his name. Zabel. I don't really care how to say his name. He's a lying scumbag grifter, and so is his partner, Ross Coulthard. There, I said it. I told you, I'm not pulling any more punches. If somebody's a lying scumbag grifter, I'm going to tell you they're lying scumbag grifters. But Bryce Zabel, he's upset that people are calling him a lying scumbag grifter. He's upset that people are calling his partner, Ross Coulthard, a lying scumbag grifter. So he says, Lester, your post ought to, and see how they work together? Like, the same lying scumbags that were involved with selling the Dave Grush story are all helping each other, keep it going and cover up for the lies they keep getting caught in. Bryce Zabel says, Lester, your post ought to put this nonsense to rest, but it won't. Personally, I'm very peeved at everyone who is devoting their life energy to trying to bring this topic to the forefront must constantly be disparaged as a grifter on X and elsewhere. It's simply not true. By the way, even Taylor Swift is no grifter. She is a businesswoman. It's okay to make a living. Bryce Zabel, are you saying it's okay to make a living selling completely and totally fake stories? Because that's what you've been doing for years now. How many fake stories did your partner Ross Coulthard and you push on your garbage fake podcast? He's upset because he's getting disparaged. People are calling him a grifter. Hey, Bryce Zabel, whatever the hell your name is. Do you know that if you make a living selling completely and totally fake stories, most reasonable and rational people would come to the conclusion that you, sir, are a grifter. So don't get upset because this is your chosen profession, to sell completely and totally fake stories. And when that's your chosen profession, you can't get upset that people are disparaging you or calling you a grifter. Hey, buddy, does the shoe fit? Then wear it, grifter. I can't get over that he's upset. How many fake stories have you been involved in with Ross Coulthard? And so I asked, if you and Ross Coulthard are not grifters, why don't you and him give all the money back from the completely 100% fake stories Ross has been caught peddling in recent years. These slimy, shady scumballs complaining that people call them grifters, it's the truth. And I stand by that statement. And I think it's great. And then, of course, I always get attacked. Oh, you're collecting money too. And I have to straighten everybody out. I don't pay my bills from this show. Any funds generated on this show go to the show and cover our expenses here. I've never paid a personal expense, mortgage, groceries, bills, anything. By the way, I have to get my car inspected tomorrow and an oil change. That's going to be $400 or $500. I think I need some little stuff, like maybe a brake pad. I'm paying that out of my own money. I'm not paying that out of my show money. So, people can say whatever they're going to say. And I've never been caught selling a completely and totally fake story. Can't say the same for Bryce Zabel. Can't say the same. He's been caught a lot of times, along with his scumbag partner, Ross Coulthard, who, by the way, just won the Bent Spoon Award in Australia for the most fake stories of an Australian journalist in 2023. So when they tell you that Ross Coulthard is an award-winning journalist, they're being honest. He's winning awards because his stories are so fake and so deceptive that he's winning awards for that. So we're going to move on with our presentation here, and I have another one to share with you. And that is red flags again for spotting a disinformation agent. And by the way, just to be clear, in Jeremy Corbell's case, a very strong case could be made that he is a government disinformation agent, since a great deal of his information is coming from government sources that he is sharing as true and accurate information, and it all falls apart and turns out to be fake information. In the case of Ross Coulthard and Bryce Zabel, I can't really make the same claim that they're likely government disinformations, but they're still disinformation people because they keep getting caught selling completely and totally fake stories. So red flags for spotting a disinformation agent. And by the way, I don't care if somebody is a government-paid disinformation agent or they're just a grifting scumbag disinformation agent that is profiting from fake information. Either way, they're a disinformation agent and they are a waste of everyone's time. Everybody I'm covering tonight should be banished from the world of UFOs forever. Show me another profession in any kind of journalistic endeavor covering anything, covering politics, science, technology, defense, local politics, local events, homelessness, the drug epidemic. Show me any other genre of information where you could get caught selling completely and totally fake stories over and over and over and over again and just keep your job in that subculture or area. Like, for example, if you were covering politics and you just keep getting caught manufacturing completely and totally fake stories about political people or politics, you would be banished. You couldn't keep doing it. But welcome to Clown World, the world of UFOs, where you can get caught selling fake stories over and over and over again, and you just shuffle away, pretend you didn't get caught, shuffle back in with another fake story. So Bryce Zabel, whatever the hell his name is, works with Richard Dolan, who is right now selling people superpowers. We're going to get into that later in our presentation. That's right. Richard Dolan, once respected UFO researcher, is now selling people superpowers with his wife, who claims that she's got all kinds of superpowers: precognition, astral projection, remote viewing. And hey, for $40, she'll teach you how to have superpowers too. Nothing says credible like working with a man whose fake psychic wife and him are right now selling people completely and totally fake superpowers. And by the way, we're going to have a challenge on that. Bryce Zabel helped Ross Coulthard peddle several completely fake stories. Every time Ross Coulthard comes out with a new fake story, there comes in Bryce Zabel, to sit there and do the circle jerk on their show with Coulthard and get a few bucks for himself off of the back of Coulthard's completely and totally fake stories. Why don't you give the money back if you're not a grifter? You have a wife and children, don't you, Bryce Zabel? Your wife should be ashamed of you. She should leave you today, right now. Your children should abandon you. You are nothing but an embarrassment to your wife and children and entire family and entire community. Because what value do you bring to the world? You sell fake stories on the internet? Is that something your wife and children should be proud of? What is, like when you go to career day as a child, right? And somebody says, what does your dad do? What do your children say, Bryce? My dad sells fake stories with Ross Coulthard, who's been caught selling at least 5 fake stories in the past bunch of years. And then he doubles down and he gets upset when people call him a grifter for selling fake stories. You should be ashamed of yourself. Give the money back so that you can look at your wife and children without shame in your eyes for what a despicable, disgusting waste of skin you are. All right. Sorry, I'm getting a little upset. Bryce Zabel has made outrageous claims for many, many years, and he's never proven anything. That's another red flag that this person may be disinformation. All of these are red flags. Now let's get to Ross Coulthard. Another red flag. Ross Coulthard got caught accusing British Parliament, members of British Parliament, of being child-related predators. I'm not going to use the R word. YouTube doesn't like it. That was a completely and totally 100% fake story. Then we have another red flag. Ross Coulthard caught selling a 100% fake story about an Area 51 patch. It wasn't anything to do with aliens. That has been proven by an Area 51 historian. He sold that story, even took a live speaking fee. He stood there on a microphone in front of cameras and told a completely and totally fake story so that he could collect a speaking fee for talking about UFOs. Never mind that much of what he talked about during that live performance was a completely and totally 100% provably fake story. That's a red flag. Then we have Ross Coulthard claimed he had, quote, definitive proof of alien technology. He had no proof. It's a completely and totally fake story. And just to be clear, somebody had asked me if I have the video of that. Yeah, I do. And I've played it on many previous shows. But I'll try to post it on my Twitter for the benefit of people who are asking what the source of that is. We have our receipts. Ross Coulthard claimed in this special about Jim's balls that they had, quote, definitive proof of alien technology. Then they said, all confirmed by this world-renowned scientist. And they cut to a shot of Michio Kaku. No, Michio Kaku didn't confirm shit. Not only did they not have definitive proof of alien technology, they had no proof. Red flag. Completely and totally fake story. And the latest, of course, is that Ross Coulthard claims that he knows the location of a giant alien spaceship on Earth, which was so big it couldn't be moved. So they built a building around it. But he can't tell us because he cares too much about national security. And that might endanger national security if he told everybody where the alien spaceship was. People making these grandiose claims and then making excuses. This is like 3-year-olds on a playground. Like, I got a laser gun. Great, show us the laser gun. I can't. The aliens told me I'm not allowed to show it to anybody. It's so childish and stupid. And isn't it great how these people have absolutely no shame in their game, right? They just keep coming back with more fake stories. Don't want to talk about the old fake stories they've been caught in. And by the way, all of you UFO circle jerkers that have any of these people on your podcast or shows or whatever, if you don't ask them about everything I'm showing my audience tonight, then you're part of the goddamn problem, and you need to get the hell out of here too. Pack your shit and go. We've had enough of the circle jerk. The gloves are coming off. And if you are one of those people helping these people sell their garbage, lies, and disinformation, you're going to get in my crosshairs, and that's not a place you want to be. Trust me. I'm going to cover every circle jerker helping these people sell these lies and garbage. So we really have to consider the person's track record on accuracy of information that they have put forth or presented. Track record matters. How many times are we going to let these people sell us fake stories before we say that everything they say needs to be highly fact-checked, scrutinized, sourced, and proven? Otherwise, we can't listen to these people because they keep on selling us lies. How many times are you going to let, like in your personal life, how many times have you let a certain person? I once had a friend and he would lie to me. And, at a certain point, I had to just cut it out of my life and say, I don't want this guy in my life. He keeps lying to me. It's not healthy to just accept someone lying to you constantly. I'm sure there's some kind of psychological condition about that, or, psychological explanation for why somebody would continually allow somebody in their life that just keeps getting caught lying over and over and over again. And, I stand by what I said. It may sound harsh, but Bryce Zabel and Ross Coulthart are wastes of skin. They are wastes of everything, and I'm not going to go as far as Ross Coulthart saying people should be tarred and feathered and executed. But I think that Ross Coulthart, get a real job, Bryce Zabel. You had a nice run faking stories with your scumbag partner, Ross Coulthart. It's time to get a real job, right? So that you can look at your wife and children in the eye again and not feel ashamed of yourself, adding zero value to the world. What value is your fake nonsense adding to the world? You do no one any good. All right. And we're going to move on. I got a little more to share with you. And, I noticed that there is now this trend now of people sort of taking sides. Some people are on the side of Stephen Greer, and he's the real disclosure guy. And other people say, no, Stephen Greer's a bullshitter, and Lou Elizondo's the real disclosure guy. No, I don't think any of these people care about disclosure. They care about their pockets. And that's something that you need to keep in mind, right, when you get into this. And for anybody to not understand and recognize that the information I'm giving you is entirely accurate and provable. I challenge anybody. Prove me wrong on any of these slides. Prove me wrong. You can't, and you won't, because our information is accurate and backed by verifiable evidence, not stories, not hope-sos, maybes, possibilities, or tantalizing maybe proof. We have proof of what we say here. So again, red flags for spotting a disinformation agent. And again, I don't care how you break down disinformation agent. To me, a disinformation agent is someone who is continually pushing false information. That's how I define it. You can define it however you like. But again, they become easier to spot over time. You have to consider the person's track record on accuracy of information they have put forth or presented. And track record, of course, matters. So Greer's been in the game like 30 years. It becomes easier and easier to prove he's a proven disinformation liar and scammer, some would say. Dr. Stephen Greer. He claimed to have briefed every U.S. president since Ronald Reagan about UFOs. That's a completely and totally fake story. If he had briefed any president since Ronald Reagan, and by the way, we checked every presidential library up to Trump, but we did get in touch with a Trump media representative who told us, no, Dr. Stephen Greer, Trump never either requested or received any briefing from a Dr. Stephen Greer. Full stop. But the other issue is, had he actually briefed any of the sitting U.S. presidents from Ronald Reagan forward, there would be some mention of that briefing in the presidential library. So we checked all of them. There's no mention of Stephen Greer in any presidential library. Not in Ronald Reagan's, not in George H.W. Bush, not in George Bush Jr.'s, not in Obama's. No. There's no mention of him briefing any president in any of the presidential libraries. But you know what you will find? A mention of every briefing and person who briefed the president. They keep track of every minute of a president's time, all his meetings. They're real big about their legacy. They keep track of these things. There would be some mention of him. No, he never briefed any sitting U.S. president. And I challenge him to show us the proof that you have. Later, when I started being very vocal about this, and by the way, in previous episodes here, I showed on the record statements from the Ronald Reagan library, from the George Bush library, from the Obama library, from all of them, saying no mention of Stephen Greer briefing these presidents. When I presented that evidence, Greer started to walk that back, that claim, saying that he sent briefings to the White House. Well, yeah, I can send a letter to the White House too. But me sending a letter or a briefing that I wrote myself, a Word document, printed out and sent it to the White House, me doing that and saying I briefed every sitting U.S. president since Ronald Reagan is two vastly different things. Is this just embellishment? Is this just, exaggeration? No, to me, it's a clear lie. Completely and totally fake story. And a red flag. Oh, I forgot to put the red flags down on this one. Another red flag, Dr. Stephen Greer said that an entire company in Michigan was murdered for studying free energy. That was a completely and totally fake story. And we know because we did a detailed, exhaustive search in the state of Michigan for any record or media coverage of an entire company being murdered. And of course, the third phase clowns come up with some explanation. Oh, we didn't say they were like all murdered together. Well, then show me the police reports. Show me the evidence that an entire company in Michigan was murdered for studying free energy. No, Dr. Stephen Greer he's a literal. I think he just bullshits things off the top of his head, and then he gets caught. Then he has to send out the third phase lunatics to try to defend his lies. By the way, another red flag that Dr. Stephen Greer is a disinformation agent might be that he's working with and for Third Phase of Moon, the biggest UFO hoax channel ever in the history of UFO hoax channels. Why would he work with known proven hoaxers if he's an on the level real guy? I don't understand that, So Dr. Stephen Greer also claimed to have briefed the CIA director about UFOs and aliens. And that CIA director got so pissed he wrote a letter saying it never happened. I sat near him at a social function. There was no real or official briefing. He just, talked to me and my wife. So somehow Dr. Stephen Greer turned sitting near somebody at a social event into I briefed him about aliens and UFOs. No, you didn't. That was a completely and totally fake story. Then we get Dr. Stephen Greer claimed he summoned alien spaceships, with his superpowers. But that turned out that was just flares from a military exercise in the area that he did this event in. Completely and totally fake story. Then we get Dr. Stephen Greer claims the government offered him $5 billion to stop talking UFOs. Well, I really can't prove that's a fake story, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say the burden of proof is on the claimant. I didn't make those claims, he did. So show us the proof that the government offered you $5 billion to stop talking about UFOs. Or is this just like the mad ramblings of a bullshitter who makes up stories to make himself grandiose and some kind of hero? Next red flag, Dr. Stephen Greer claimed that the Atacama skeleton was an alien. That was a completely and totally fake story. Busted. Completely and totally fake. And he could have waited on making a documentary about that until he got DNA results, but he didn't do that. He rushed the documentary into production so that he could make all the money off of that hoax before it fell apart, that it was just a deformed fetus. Totally human. No signs of alien anything. And, this is the level of scumbaggery and disgusting, despicable behavior. He's literally using a dead, deformed baby to grift and scam people for UFO money, right? It's despicable. It's disgusting. So, one of the things I do encourage people to do is always check out the history of the claims that these people make. Don't just go by their latest, greatest claims that they're making right now. Go look at their history of making claims. What have they proved? What have they provided evidence for? And maybe, just maybe, you will realize that so many of the people involved in UFOs, their entire existence is based on selling you, the consumer, a fake story or fake narrative. In other words, peddling disinformation. And again, I don't really care if Stephen Greer is a government-paid disinformation agent. I know he's a paid disinformation agent. And by the way, we said we'd talk about money. Greer has collected millions of dollars in crowdfunding. And look at these levels of fakeness that he has shown. He's collecting $500,000 to make a documentary, and then he puts fake stories like some of these into his fake documentaries. Why should we pay him $500,000 to lie to us? Is it really that the pretty lie is better than the ugly truth? Listen, I get it. I really would love to believe that aliens are visiting planet Earth and maybe they've crashed. Maybe the government has some alien technology, but I need evidence for that. And paying somebody $500,000 to whisper pretty alien lies to me, it does nothing. It has, again, no value. So, and by the way, I encourage you, anybody can look up this Bryce Zabel and Coulthard and see how much money they're making. You just average 8 CPM, $8 per 1,000 monetized views. It's not $2 like that guy lied. These people are making an awful lot of money selling this stuff. And for anybody to suggest that there isn't a financial motive when we can verifiably show you, for example, that Dr. Stephen Greer has crowdfunded millions of dollars for his garbage documentaries with provably false, fake information, disinformation, misinformation sprinkled all over that documentary. Is that where we're at? That we're giving some clown like Stephen Greer $500,000 to lie to us? And what about Jeremy Corbell? And by the way, that's just one. In all those crowdfunding things he did, he collected either $500,000 or $1 million. Then he gives out. Then he makes a documentary that is just chock full of stock video, half of it, that anybody can get if you pay $20 a month to like Envato Elements. So half the damn documentary is just stock video, right? At least the last few were. It's just ridiculous. And of course, we can also talk about the money situation with Jeremy Corbell. It's very clear that the man is buying $1 million mansions. He must have millions of dollars. And I'm sorry, show me proof that you're working. And I love how Jeremy Corbell like wears work boots and ripped up jeans like he's some kind of working class hero. No, you're not. Your parents were rich. You've never really had a working day in your life, dude. And we know that from your wackadoo different adventures on, he's like a child. He's a spoiled rich child. Oh, I'm going to be a yoga instructor. And then his parents fund all that till it fails. Oh, I'm going to be an MMA fighter. And his parents fund all that till it fails. Oh, I'm going to be a quantum jujitsu instructor. His parents fund all that until it fails. Oh, now I'm going to be an alien UFO guy. But I guess he found a lucrative way to exist. Maybe he finally got, made some money of his own. And, by the way, I want to be an artist with my wife. And then he made satanic, disgusting art with his wife. Did your parents fund that too? And all your failed art installations, But hey, good for him. He came across the gold mine of UFOs. The guy's buying $1.8 million mansions, and idiot supporters of his, and he's wearing wearing a $75,000 watch, getting out of a $135,000 SUV as he walks by a homeless man in his own docuseries and says, "I don't get paid for UFOs." I beg to differ. Show us your tax returns, Jeremy. It's absolutely ridiculous. So, one more part to the presentation. I saved the best for last. A lot of you have been asking me to cover what Richard Dolan and his wife have been up to. And I'm just going to share this. And we're going to talk about this because this is another garbage peddler Richard Dolan has been caught in multiple fake stories, right? One with Jeremy Corbell, that CIA deathbed confession. The guy worked in a supermarket. He never worked for the CIA. But Jeremy Corbell and Richard Dolan made money off of a completely and totally fake story. Then there was the Roswell slides hoax. You remember that one in which he helped pump and promote a Jaime Maussan hoax? Jaime Maussan made hundreds of thousands of dollars from the pay-per-view event. How much did you get, Richard Dolan? Then he laughed because people said his career should be over for backing a hoax like that. But it gets better because now Richard Dolan found a new way to make some money. Him and his wife are selling people superpowers. I'm going to say that one more time. Richard Dolan and his wife are right now selling people superpowers. I can't believe it. You know, and isn't it great, this act that Richard Dolan puts on, that he's some serious researcher? No, you're a wackadoo, Richard Dolan, and your wife is a wackadoo, and you both should be ashamed of yourself for what you're doing now. How dare you make a living selling people superpowers, right? They're literally trying to make a living selling people superpowers. Yeah, I'm going to share my screen. First, we'll put our fair use banner up. And I have a challenge for Richard Dolan. You claim your wife has superpowers, right, Richard Dolan? Prove it. Prove your wife has superpowers. How are you taking money from people to teach them how to have the same superpower your wife has if your wife can't prove her superpowers are real? Show me the superpowers, Richard Dolan. Show me your wife's superpowers, Richard Dolan. Hey, Tracy Dolan, we're going to challenge you to prove your superpowers are real. And by the way, they're all these people are connected. Ross Coulthard, Bryce Zabel, Jeremy Corbell, George Knapp, all of them making money off the Grush story. Then we have Richard Dolan making money off of the fake story with Corbell, the fake CIA deathbed confession. Richard Dolan's in the new docuseries, I think, wasn't he? Let's all make UFO dollars together, right? It's great. So I'm going to put my fair use banner up here. This is a transformative work. We're educating the public. This is Richard Dolan's latest project, The Consciousness Connection, a weekend retreat presented by Tracy Garbutt Dolan. Delve into the depths of your inner world with dream worlds, remote viewing, precognition, out-of-body experience, near-death experience, an ET UFO, meditation protocols, plus a remote viewing class and more. And here's the featured speakers, which is basically a who's who of grifty new age scammers. There, I said it. Prove me wrong, Richard Dolan. You and your wife have now become new age scammers. Congratulations, Mr. Serious Researcher. Oh, and you get a video of it for $39. There's one standard replay. Oh, the premiere replay has some extras. So you too can buy superpowers for either $39 or $59. And I get it. Somebody said they don't exactly promise you'll get superpowers, Stephen. It's just a class in remote viewing. What's remote viewing? It's a superpower. What's precognition? They're teaching precognition. That's the ability to discern events before they happen. That's a superpower. So if they can teach these people precognition and remote viewing, astral projection, out-of-body experiences, then certainly they can display that they have those abilities before, scamming people, taking their money to teach them how to do it. You know, first you should have to prove that your superpowers are real before taking money from people. I love this. And by the way, I don't know if this is correct, but I've heard from multiple people that Tracy Dolan here is a Scientologist, which makes sense because she's a big follower and supporter of Targ and Put Off, and I think they were Scientologists, right? Okay. What to expect? A practical class in remote viewing. So Tracy Dolan is going to teach everybody how to remote view, something that's never been scientifically proven to be real or accurate. And in fact, you might be familiar with that movie, The Men Who Stare at Goats. That whole comedy was made out of one of their speakers, Russell Targ, who literally wrote the book on remote viewing, but never proved anything and was fooled by children's magic tricks. We'll get into it. I get it. People think that's interesting. Oh, Russell Targ and Hal Puthoff, they studied psychics and remote viewers for the government. Yeah, and they were so biased and so unscientific, they believed that people who were using children's magic tricks had real superpowers. This is not a credible thing. It's garbage. Next, she's going to teach you the science of precognitive dreams and how to have them. So she claims that she can teach you how to have superpower dreams where you could see the future in your dreams and how to have them. Can she prove that she can have precognitive dreams before she takes other people's money to teach this nonsense? She shouldn't have to, or this is consumer fraud, right? And again, the gloves are off. I'm calling the Consumer Protection Agency or somebody, and I want somebody from the government to explain to me how this woman and her hoax-promoting, garbage-peddling, UFO wackadoo husband can promise people superpowers for $40. Somebody has to explain to me how this is not consumer fraud. And by the way, I don't know. For all I know, you get real superpowers for your $40. I'm paying the $40. And we're going to do a full report on me getting the same superpowers that Richard Dolan's wife claims to be in possession of and able to teach anybody for just $40. Tracy Garbett Dolan. Are we the quantum computers we are searching for? Remote viewing, dreams, ET, and the mysteries of our minds. As part of her lecture series, The Final Frontier is in here. Tracy explores that such disciplines as remote viewing, dream study, precognition, and blindfolded work teach us about our minds and the very nature of who we are. The vast reaches of the human mind remains one of the most fascinating and grossly unresolved mysteries of our time. We spend billions sending people into space, but could one of the primary ways to traveling the unknown vistas of reality reside inside us and within easy reach? Could we be the quantum computer we are searching for? And finally, where does the current state of artificial intelligence sit with all of this? You know, I'm sorry, did I miss something? Tracy Dolan, do you have a degree in computer science? How the hell are you qualified or capable of giving a lecture on artificial intelligence? That alone shows that this is a bullshit scam. You're not qualified. You're not educated. Show me some code you've written for artificial intelligence. Show me some peer-reviewed papers about artificial intelligence development that you've written. Or is this all just bullshit so that you can make $40 because your husband is a loser who can't make a living by doing anything other than sell fake stories, right? And I'm sorry. You know, maybe I should try to not be so personally insulting. I apologize. But if you and your husband think that it's just okay to sell people superpowers and do lectures for people that you're neither qualified nor educated in order to make $40, then I feel sorry for you and your husband. He is a loser. If you guys have to do this to make money to eat, you people are losers. And you people are predators. You are new age predators, scammers. But it gets better. Because besides Richard Dolan's wife teaching everybody to have superpowers, by the way, I think that's about a 10-year-old promo picture of her, right? Now we have Richard Dolan. He's going to do a lecture on UFOs for the 21st century mind. Remains a comprehensive guide to the UFO phenomenon. His book, The Alien Agenda, examines the beings behind the UFO phenomenon. Yeah, he took all the fake stories, Greys, aliens, Arcturians, and just put them in a book with some pretty pictures. No proof of any of his stories in his book. He's a garbage peddler. Next, we have Alexis Brooks, and I love this cast of New Age characters. But let's get to Russell Targ, because Russell Targ was part of Stanford Research, and you might have seen that documentary film Psychic Spies, or whatever it's called. Russell Targ is just a guy who believes all of this shit is real. He's never proven anything, though he's wasted an awful lot of government funding along with his partner, Hal Puthoff, at SRI Research, which, by the way, even Stanford Research Institute is somewhat of a scam. They have nothing to do with Stanford and, Stanford University. They just named it that to gain credibility and help them get, the perception of credibility so they could get more funding, in my opinion. But Russell Targ, you can go look up all this stuff, this Project Stargate and the SRI, and you can see, even Wikipedia will tell you that these two guys were completely and totally biased. They got fooled by charlatans and magic tricks. And by the way, I'm aware of at least one magician. His name is Banachek. You can look him up. He's a mentalist, an incredibly talented magic and mentalism performer. He fooled Hal Puthoff and Russell Targ into believing that he had psychic superpowers. And to this day, Banachek bills himself on his posters and promotional materials for his shows. By the way, if you're ever in Las Vegas, go to see his show. Just look it up. Banachek, Banachek. He fooled Russell Targ with children's magic tricks into believing that he, Banachek, had superpowers. That's what you're selling people, Richard Dolan, a gullible idiot that believed that children's magic tricks made somebody have real superpowers. Anthony Peake, not familiar with this, but not familiar with him. He's an explorer of the mysterious and esoteric. He's going to talk on out-of-body experiences, near-death experiences, and UFO encounters. See, can we tell that they're running out of fake UFO stories? Now they got to get into the woo. And Richard Dolan, this whole thing just proves that Richard Dolan has gone full-on wackadoo with his wackadoo wife. There, I said it. Richard Dolan, your wife's a wackadoo and lies to people for a living. You lie to people for a living. I'm going to tell you something that you should already know, Richard Dolan. Your wife doesn't have real superpowers. Therefore, I consider it a crime for her to take money to teach people how to have superpowers that are fake, that she can't prove are real. It's consumer fraud. Unless I give you my $40 and get superpowers, and by the way, if that happens, I'll accurately report on it. I consider it worth the $40. I hate giving any of these grifters money. Next, we have Patricia Cyrus, who is a research associate at the University of San Diego Department of Physics and Biophysics. By the way, I'm calling her university. Anyway, in her portion of her back-to-back presentations with the colleague Dale Graff, Patricia will describe her groundbreaking exploration of precognition, again, superpowers, and the potential of artificial intelligence, AI, in perceiving future events. Oh, so this is Cliff High Webbot nonsense? Is that what you're saying? And again, let's throw in AI. One of the things you'll start noticing when you follow these people that sell these courses and conferences is they always throw in whatever is popular right now, or things people are talking about or worrying about, and AI is one of them. Notice how many times throughout this whole thing that AI is mentioned. And again, if this person is a research associate at for the Department of Physics and Biophysics, then what qualifications does she have to lecture about artificial intelligence? None. She has no qualifications to lecture about artificial intelligence. Can I see some computer code she's written? AI programs? Can I see, her peer-reviewed papers on artificial intelligence? Of course not. And maybe I'm being unfair. I don't know. I'm going to reach out to her and talk to her. That one's kind of easy on the eyes. Dale Graff. Dale will be giving a special back-to-back presentation with colleague Patricia Cyrus, in which he will provide a unique exploration into the world of psychic research, remote viewing, and precognition. Again, these are all superpowers. So you're selling people superpowers. Next, my favorite, Michelle Freed. I didn't know this, right? And that documentary that I was talking about with Russell Targ is called Third Eye Spies. So nothing says credibility like this woman being involved. Michelle's media presence include Third Eye Spies, Ancient Aliens, and associate producer of Flash of Beauty, Paranormal Bigfoot. She's a seasoned producer and co-owner of Midnight.fm network. She currently produces Fade to Black with Jimmy Church. Nothing says credible like getting the producer of the show that has spread the most fake information, disinformation, false information, misinformation, and fake stories. Let's get the girl who produces that show to help us with our New Age nonsense conference where we promise people they'll have superpowers for $40. Nothing says credible like this. It's just, this is the point of ridiculousness. Okay, this girl that got off of TikTok. Again, the intersection of AI and consciousness. Can we see her qualifications? And, I'm only asking because I have a lifelong background in computer science. You can see the AI tools that we use here for our show here, thanks to a great deal of help from some of my colleagues like Mr. Ian. But still, I can display to you that I know about AI. And I'm sorry, I don't think any of these people who you're charging your customers money to talk about AI have any qualifications, education, or credentials when it comes to speaking about AI. So this is just a conference full of bullshitters that have no business lecturing on AI that are lecturing on AI for $40. And why AI sprinkled all throughout this? Is it just because it's a hot topic right now? Drawing and oh, nothing says credible like this. Oh, this is great. This girl is drawing from an unreleased interview with Linda Moulton Howe. Nothing says credible like getting interviewed by a woman who keeps getting caught selling completely and totally fake pictures of aliens as real pictures of aliens. Boy, this whole conference just seems so credible. No, it doesn't. This seems like a bunch of new age scammers who are running out of fake UFO stories to sell, who need some new grift to get into. And wasn't it Richard Dolan who years ago railed against Corey Goode, mixing new age and consciousness with secret space program and UFOs to make money? Whoa, I'm pretty sure he did go after people like Corey Goode and David Wilcock for mixing new age and spirituality and psychic powers in with UFOs in order to make money. And now here we are just a few short years later, and Richard Dolan, the hypocrite, is now doing the exact same thing that he accused other people of doing. And listen, I, for one, am tired of this. I'm tired of these fake new age grifters. So I got a special challenge for Richard Dolan and his wife with the superpowers. And we're going to get into that. Okay. 1 second here. So I have decided, wrong one. There we go. I have decided that I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. And essentially, Tracy Dolan and Richard Dolan are selling people superpowers. Remote viewing is a superpower. Precognition, which is the ability to know things before they happen, that's a superpower. Out-of-body experiences, astral travel, these are all superpowers. So you might see that we have a new set piece here, right on our set, and it will be here every day until this challenge is completed or over. So I'm going to challenge Richard Dolan and his superpowered wife to put their money where their mouth is and prove it. Prove you have superpowers before you take money from other people to teach them how to have superpowers too. The least that you could do is prove that you have those abilities before you take people's hard-earned money to teach them how to do it. And this is the same thing we've been through with 100 other of these grifters, like Randy Kramer. Remember him? He had a $99 a month deal where he was selling people superpowers. Hey, at least Tracy Dolan and Richard Dolan, for the discount price of only one-time fee of $40, you too can have remote viewing superpowers. But wait, there's more. For that same $39.95, we're going to teach you how to have out-of-body experiences, astrally travel throughout the universe for just $39.95. But wait, there's more. Because not only are you going to get remote viewing superpowers and astral travel superpowers, you're going to get the ability to tell the future. Precognition, whatever you want to call it. But wait, there's more. We're also going to have a bunch of unqualified speakers talking about AI, none of which have any background or education or experience in actual computer science for just $39.95. But my favorite is that Richard Dolan has sunken so low and has become such a clown joke that he is now literally promising people that his superpowered wife, who has remote viewing and out-of-body and precognition superpowers, can teach you to have superpowers too for just $39.95. No, I don't think so. Because you see, Richard Dolan, if you and your wackadoo wife can't prove that her superpowers are real, then it is my opinion, and by the way, it's just my opinion. I'm not a lawyer, a law enforcement officer. I'm entitled to my opinion. And it's very simple. My opinion is this. If you're going to take money from people to teach them any skill that you claim you have, you should be able to prove that that skill is real. Could I take money from people teaching them to be an Olympic level fencer and yet not be able to prove that I can fence at all? Wouldn't that be consumer fraud? Can I take $40 to teach everybody in my audience to be, to be, let's say, take $40 from everybody and teach them to be a genius level business person able to make millions of dollars a month? If I can't show you that I can actually make millions of dollars a month, then taking $40 from somebody to teach them how to do it, in my opinion, is a form of fraud. Likewise, you, Richard Dolan, and you, Tracy Dolan, taking $39 from people, claiming you're going to teach them to have the same superpowers Richard Dolan's wackadoo wife claims to have, in my opinion, is a form of fraud. And I'm not being, I'm trying to be fair here. So I thought long and hard about this. And this, by the way, this is going to get me in a lot of trouble, possibly with my wife. But I'm real big on putting my money where my mouth is. So you see, there's a new set piece right here on the set of Truthseekers. And it's going to remain here until Tracy Dolan and Richard Dolan prove me wrong. Now, you might wonder what's in here. There's three things in here. This nice glass display case. There's three things in here. There's two piles of money. What we have here is two stacks of $100 bills, two stacks of 50, 100 $100 bills in total, two stacks of $50, $100 bills. That makes $10,000. So I'm right here to tell you, and let me change my screen here so we could get a better look. And there's three things in here. So there's three things in here. Sorry about the glare. That's two stacks of $50, $100 bills. And this is very important. Two stacks of $50 bills. But there's something, which I'm not going to show you, that is under the stacks of $100 bills. And that is a small slip of paper, commonly called a billet in mentalism and magic shows. There's a billet under the money. And I have written a secret word, phrase, series of numbers, or a drawing. I'm not going to get too specific. I've written something on the sheet of paper, which is directly under these two fat stacks of cash. This is $100 bills. It's $10,000 in cash. And if Tracy Dolan can prove that our remote viewing superpowers are real, after all, a remote viewer should be able to see anytime, any place, anywhere with their superpowers. All she has to do is give me the message or series of numbers or shape that I drew or word that I put there. Hell, it could be a math equation. There's something written on the piece of paper here. If Tracy Dolan and Richard Dolan aren't ripping people off, selling them fake superpowers they can't prove that they can do, then they should be able to discern what's on the sheet of paper under these two huge fat stacks of cash, and they can have the money. Tracy Dolan, you obviously need the money because your husband is a loser who can't figure out a way to make money for you and your family other than to lie to people about your fake superpowers or sell fake alien stories. So you guys need the money. You better crank up those superpowers, lady. You need the money because your husband is a loser who who has you out there essentially shaking your new age ass, selling you your fake superpowers to stupid people to make a living. Discern what is on and underneath this sheet of paper, under these 2 fat stacks of cash, and I will give you $10,000 in cash. However, it's a double-edged sword. If you don't provide the correct, and by the way, it has to be exact. Don't come close. We're not doing guesswork. It has to be exactly what is on the sheet of paper. I have photocopied the sheet of paper, and I've shared it with several individuals that I trust won't reveal that information to you. So it can be verified that I'm being truthful and accurate in this $10,000 challenge. I'm giving you an opportunity to make $10,000. Now, you could keep the $10,000, Tracy, which I advise you to do since your husband is having such a hard time making a living. I'm sure you like nice, expensive things, right? Pretty girl, you probably like pretty dresses and lingerie and shit that he can't afford to buy you because his income is down because, he's running out of fake stories to sell, Tracy. So you can make yourself $10,000, or you could take the money and give it to your favorite charity, which is probably your husband, right? Well, you could keep the money, or you could give it to your favorite charity. So I'm going to put this back. This is my new set piece with $10,000 in cash in it, and we'll show it to you on the set as well. And look at that. There we have it. It's the $10,000 Richard Dolan Wackadoo Wife Challenge. If Richard Dolan's Wackadoo Wife can come up with what's on the piece of paper underneath those 2 fat stacks of cash, $100 bills, I'll give them the money. On my word of honor, if she gets it correct, and it must be exactly correct to what I have written on that sheet of paper. I can't give any more. I'm not giving any clues. It must be exact. Then I'll give them that box full of fat stacks of cash, $10,000 US. Now, I can't think of any reason, if you're bold enough to take $40 from people to teach them how to have superpowers and do magic, super magic, psychic tricks like this, then you should be able to do it. I don't see a problem with you proving that your superpowers are real, since you're willing to charge people $40 to teach them how to have superpowers like you. So we're going to call this Richard Dolan's Wackadoo Wife $10,000 Challenge. I challenge you guys. Now, what are you going to do? You're going to make excuses? You're going to come through. And by the way, you only get one guess at it. Richard Dolan and his Wackadoo Wife. You can email me your guess. I will send you my cell phone number. You could text it to me. Any way you want to, get. You better start meditating. You better start meditating, right? Rev up those superpowers that you're selling people. Tracy Dolan, Richard Dolan. Rev up those superpowers. You better get everybody you know to meditate, because you're going to have to do this, or you will look like the new age scamming fools you are for selling people something you cannot even prove exists. And that, my friends, is the Richard Dolan $10,000 Wackadoo Wife Challenge. We're doing this. All right, so this will conclude my presentation for the most part. I think I had a few more things to share, but we do have to catch up and thank a few kind and generous people. Troll with a kind and generous $5 super chat. Thanks. Welcome. Thank you for being a member, and thanks for the kind and generous $5 and helping us to praise the cash. Longtime show supporter, Troll. Then we have Stormcrow with a kind and generous $5 Australian who says, for your car, not the show. I hate that inspection process, because it always feels like the mechanic will call you up and go, oh, listen, you really need brakes, and I can't pass it without the brakes, and the brakes are going to be $350 or whatever it's going to be, $400, and you just go, why are you even calling me? You're just extorting money out of it. Just do it. Like, I need the car, But I've been very thrifty, Stormcrow. I bought that car, I think, for $3,500 cash, and it had 30,000 miles on it when I got it, and it now has over 100. So it was good. I got my $3,500 out of that car. All I've put on it is wearable items like brakes, tires, oil changes, no major work done to it. So, and by the way, I've never had a foreign car. I've always had like Fords or Dodges or, whatever. This is the first time I had a Mazda. I will always buy Mazda. Those things, it seems like that thing's running in forever. All right. Well, we thank you all for your kindness, generosity, and support, and for helping us to praise the cash.
Praise the cash, praise the cash, praise the cash.
By the way, I'm just going to leave this here for now. I may put it in a safe deposit box or something like that. Might be safer there, especially considering people doxing me. And it's probably not a good idea to just have 10 grand laying around, especially with people doxing me. But we thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. It is much, much appreciated. I haven't been doing this lately, but I'm going to do it now because I heard from the person who helps me with our merchandise that last month we sold. By the way, that's funny when people attack me like, "Oh, you're selling shirts, Steven." Yeah. And last month I did not sell one thing from our merchandise store, nothing. So, I'm going to be playing those bumpers, just reminding people that a good way to support us. Maybe buy a t-shirt if you don't want to send a super chat or join our Patreon for a whole $1. We appreciate all the kindness, generosity, and support though. But in my experience, we have to constantly remind everybody the ways that we can, you guys can help support us. Geez, I haven't played these bumpers in so long. I'm having trouble finding them. So give me a moment. And while I do, I want to remind you to follow me on Twitter. It's at Stephen Cambion. And also you can follow me on Instagram, and that would be, on Twitter, it's at Stephen Cambion. On Instagram, it's at Truthseekers Show. Let me see if I can try to find these bumpers. I'm getting lost here. Oh, I did. I think I found them. Yeah, I did. Okay, so we're going to take a very quick break, and then I'll be back to take comments and questions from the live chat. The show is not over. Sometimes I play these bumpers and everybody leaves. I got plenty more time to share with you. Want to catch up with the live chat as soon as I could. So we appreciate that you, everybody that's supporting us. This is just Mr. Ian, the man with the golden voice, letting you know how you too can support our efforts.
Truthseekers is a viewer-supported show. Wonderful people like you who enjoy this show send pledges in the form of super chats, super stickers, super thanks, PayPal, or Cash App. Instructions for how to help are in the description. You can also join our Patreon, and for as little as $1 a month you can get extra content. Patreon supporters get a backstage pass, early access to all our production videos before they are distributed publicly, Stephen Cambion's music, private writings, a monthly show journal, and more. You can also become a YouTube channel member for $5 a month. A YouTube membership includes all of the Patreon benefits, plus a special members badge, priority reply to video comments, and the live chat, plus a monthly members-only video. We thank you all, kind and generous benefactors, for supporting Truthseekers. Thank you for your generosity and support. Truthseekers is a viewer-supported show. Now there's a great way to support these broadcasts and show your support. Please be sure and check out our merchandise store. Links to our 2 merchandise online stores are in the links to this video or podcast. The Amazon storefront ships super quickly in the United States, Great Britain, and many more places. Amazon may not ship to your country or location. If that's the case, hit our second merchandise link in the description and visit our Redbubble storefront. Merchandise from our Redbubble storefront ships worldwide, but may take longer than Amazon. We've got a great deal of super high quality merchandise for you to choose from, including t-shirts, phone cases, sweatshirts, and even pillows. The feedback from our products have been overwhelmingly great. Quality products and fast shipping. People all over the world are buying some merchandise and showing their support of the show. Praise the cash! Praise the cash! Praise the cash! We thank you all, kind and generous benefactors, who are buying some merchandise and helping us to continue this journey. Thanks for being here. This is Truthseekers with your host, Stephen Campion. Please rate, like and comment on our videos or podcasts. If you are listening to an audio podcast, please rate us 5 stars to help us rise in the search rankings. If you are watching on YouTube, please like, comment and subscribe to our channel. If you're listening to an audio podcast, we love and appreciate you listeners, but you are missing the live tapings. All our shows are recorded live with video feed. We'd love you to come be a part of our live broadcasts and tapings for the podcast. Head on over to YouTube, click the search tool, the little magnifying glass, put Truthseekers, one word in the search bar, and hit enter. You'll see a strange and mysterious guy with sunglasses. That means you found the channel. Go there, smash the subscribe button and hit the notification bell to receive up-to-date info on our YouTube channel. We welcome you to be a part of our live taping and our chat room during the live broadcasts. Seek the truth. Speak the truth. This is Truthseekers. Truthseekers.
Hey, so we are back, and also like to remind people that we have our very own website, Truthseeker Show, one Truthseeker, the word show.com, truthseekershow.com, and from there you can get all of our latest episodes, both in audio and video format, whichever you prefer. We're available on all podcast networks. We appreciate you. And Stormcrow throwing another $5 in, saying mechanics couldn't make it as UFO grifters. Yeah, that's probably likely true. But they've got their own thing going. And by the way, my brother is a mechanic, but you know, I just go to a local guy because I don't want to ask my brother. He's got enough projects. He's one of those guys that's got like 6 cars in his yard that he's working on, various states of repair. He restores a lot of classic Volkswagens. He's got a bunch of Volkswagen Beetles, a Carmen Ghia. I think he's got a Volkswagen Thing, and he's got Volkswagen vans, the old camper ones, and he's always fixing them up and working on them. He's always too busy, so I hate to ask him unless he's here and I have a car problem that he can help me with quickly. We just go somebody else. But thank you, Stormcrow, kind and generous, $5 Australian for helping us to praise the cash. Yeah, so we thank you, Stormcrow, for your kindness, generosity, and support. Now I'll be taking questions from the normal live chat. Please put them in all capital letters. That helps me quickly identify them. Yeah. Amy Collins says, all I know is Richard could learn superpowers for free from her, and he certainly does not have any remote viewing or superpower ability. He used to admit this before he went wackadoo. Yeah, Richard Dolan's gone full on wackadoo. And, you know, I know, I get it. Language is important, and people are going, they didn't promise people they're going to get superpower. Yeah, they imply it. They imply that you're going to be able to do these things if you give them the $39. I think that's scummy. I'm allowed to think that's scummy, Amy Collins. So we'll take comments and questions from the live chat. Oh, I didn't realize, but I am endlessly far behind. By the way, I just want to put something out there. We got a lot of complaints for a clicky keyboard during last night's broadcast. That was, I'm not blaming him. First of all, it's a live broadcast, and the people that complain in the comments, it's a live broadcast. Things are not going to go exactly as planned. And during the live broadcast, both myself and Jeremy needed to type a few times. Now, once people started crying about it, I made a point of muting myself anytime I needed to type. And by the way, I'm gonna do it right now. Oh yeah, Simon Fly says, "Isn't Dolan's wife a Scientologist?" Yes, she is. So look, I'm typing right now. Is that really that noticeable that it needs? I'm typing right now. Is that really that noticeable that people are going to complain in the comments? So many of you, right? Now I get it. Jeremy has this loud, clicky, mechanical keyboard, and I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying, like, relax. It's a live show. Things are going to happen. Maybe you're going to hear me typing, or you could give me $50,000 and I can hire a live-in producer, right? We'll give them a bed under the desk over here, and they can live here, and they can produce the show off camera, right? I got a closet. We'll make that a soundproof booth or something, and they can run the show in there. You won't hear them typing anything. All I need is $50,000 to hire a producer. Now, in the absence of that $50,000 of budget, I have to run the show myself, which means sometimes I'm going to have to click a mouse. Sometimes I'm going to have to type something. And I apologize if that's such a big deal to you. Somebody made a joke. What about the sound of me breathing? Was that an issue? I get it. But come on, guys, calm down. Relax, please, right? All right, Randy says, would it be possible to bust Dolan's wife on the taxes? P.S. The key clicks don't bother me. Yeah, well, we thank you, reasonable people. Yeah, and Mark D. Truthseeker says, jokes are funny when it's a known joke, but Eon is a good dude who is struggling, like many are, with the NWO plan in full effect. Oh, boy. Christine Wood asks, do you have a P.O. box or something for receiving gifts and stuff? No, I don't. But so many people have asked me for that I'm going to find one. I'm going to get a P.O. box near the cabin, because I'm there every weekend just about. So I figure I could just, on my way into the cabin, the post office is on the way. I'm going to stop there this weekend, Christine Wood, and try to get that for you and other people who want to send me stuff. Very kind and generous of you, but I'd rather, even though people are putting my address all over the place, doxing me because they're assholes, I'd still rather not be giving my home address out to people, even people with good intentions, because then it'll get around to the people with less than good intentions. So I'm going to work on that. I'll do that. Yeah. And Suffering Succotash says, stop breathing, Stephen. Yeah. That, and my other favorite thing is that there's like one or two guys that keep complaining that the audio quality of your show is so terrible. And I don't need, I don't, it's just, it's nonsense. Like, I don't know. I worked in a recording studio. Compare my audio quality show to everybody. And I'm using like a Blue Yeti X here, which is used by that's the microphone I use. It's used by tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of podcasts use that, and streamers use that. It's industry standard quality mic. Why are you crying in my, and then I go to their channel and their videos sound worse than mine. So are they listening on bad headphones or speakers? Buy yourself some better headphones or speakers and stop complaining, because I don't see a problem with the audio here. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I have loud keyboards, actually. I seek out the clicky kind, old IBMs from the 80s and 90s. Yeah, that I joked with Jeremy. I'm like, Jesus, what do you got? Like an IBM AT keyboard over there? Original clicky IBM keyboard, All right. Yeah, why fool says it's clear as a bell. Yeah. Headphone watchers just being audiophiles. Yeah, listen, and I want to be very clear, Bobby, in that I'm fine with criticism, but what's wrong with the audio quality specifically? They can't tell me. They just come in the comments and bitch, If you're not even qualified enough to tell me, oh, it's got too much high end, it's got too much, it's overdriven, some technical audio term, then what are you complaining about then? You don't even know what's wrong with it or if there actually is something wrong. And honestly, some of these people used to drive me nuts because then I would think, oh, I have to do all kinds of tests and check all the settings. And then I'd spend an hour or two doing that and it wouldn't get any better. So no, I'm not doing that anymore. I stopped, right? Paul J says, I listen to loads of channels. You seem just like everyone else. Thank you, Paul J. Then I'm not insane. Maybe some of the people leaving the comments are insane. Just putting it out there. Robo 1776 with a kind and generous $10 says, good show. In my humble opinion, there is something evil with hijacking the 4% UFO evidence train into the next global war of terror, alien gambit to scare the people. Anyway, ciao for now. Well, ciao, yeah, and thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support, and of course for helping us to praise the cash.
Praise the cash, praise the cash, praise the cash.
All right, I'm going to be taking comments and questions from the live chat, so anything for me that you want me to share on the screen, please put it in all capital letters. Sandra McDonald, thanks for being a member, says, I love all noise that reminds me I'm awake. Keep up all the great noise. Just for you, Sandra, I will do that. And we've got Gooby Boxton says, I think the audio quality could use a little bit higher fidelity at the 10 to 40 hertz range. Well, you know, one of the other issues is that the show is run through StreamYard, which may use certain codecs that do crunch down the pristine, perfect quality. You know, there's streaming codecs, you know, that crunch it down. I thought that could be the only thing, right? Yeah. Talmud, thanks for being a member, says, type louder, please. I appreciate that, right? Yeah. And the Urban Way says there is nothing wrong with the audio. Listen, I think we have good quality music here that sounds good. I do my best to make sure the microphones sound good. When we have guests, I try to level everybody so it's about the same. All the speakers are about the same, you know, volume level. I do my best, but at some point you have to say some of these people are just complaining to complain. Amy Collins says, what is a chatbot capable of doing to the best of your knowledge? Well, a chatbot is, it depends. There's many different forms of chatbots, but some chatbots are able to have full-on conversations with you, including remembering things that you've said in the past and bringing that back up, you know? Like if you were to tell a chatbot like, oh, I really like horseback riding, and you continue to talk to that chatbot every day for months from now, it may bring up horseback riding. Like, I remember you said you liked horseback riding. Have you been riding lately? It's pretty interesting. There's one that I'm going to do a show on. It's called Replika, Replika. And it was designed by somebody to help them get over the loss of a loved one who died. They wanted to continue the conversation, I guess. And I've talked to several people who have a so-called Replika AI friend that they talk to every day, and people really enjoyed it. I've at least tried it, and I find chatbots to be incredibly interesting and a takeoff of the original, you can look this up, Eliza, Eliza chatbot. That was way back in the 80s. Eliza was a sort of a fake therapist, and you could type in your problems and it would talk to you. And that's what all this technology has grown out of, early things like that. This DJ 808 says, large proportions of the chat are no doubt led to insanity by their own experience and inability to understand it. Yeah, well, that's pretty deep. I don't even know what to say to that one, you know? Yeah. YOY Fool says, Nap crunches down and he crunches down on the pillow when Corbell is around. I'm not really quite sure what that is in relation to. Alien Scientist here and says, thanks, Cambian. Thank you, Alien Scientist. And I know Jeremy wants me to come on a show, but time's always an issue. We'll try to do that soon. Yeah, we appreciate. Stormcrow says, I am mostly a chatbot these days. Art and Paranormal reminding everybody, please put questions and comments in the all capital letters. And Bobby says, cheers, aliens, the scientist is here. Yes, hide your beakers and your lab coats, right? And your pocket protectors. All right, so I think we've done our due diligence, friends. I am going to bounce on out of here, but I'm going to be back tomorrow night with a little bit of a departure for our show. There's a user in our Discord and a chat room called Daisy B, and she has a YouTube channel largely exploring scams, pyramid scams, multi-level marketing scams, business scams, all kinds of sort of multi-level marketing scams. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to get off the UFO topic for once. But don't worry, I'll also be back on Thursday night at 9 p.m. So we've got tomorrow night, pyramid scams, multi-level marketing schemes, and Thursday night we'll be back to our usual topics. I'm thinking about going through that whole Jeremy Corbell weaponized podcast because it is a laugh riot. Those guys are melting down because they see that their grift it's going to be a problem to keep it going because they keep getting caught. Instagram disconnected the stream right at 2 hours. Is there a 2 hour limit now on Instagram live streams? In any case, I apologize to the live stream followers on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram at Truthseekers Show. I'd appreciate some likes and follows over there. Feeling a little lonely. So we'll be back tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I hope you'll be here with us. So, really to wrap things up, what I would say is Dave Grush hasn't produced any evidence for 246 days now. And all of these prophets of disclosure around him, they just keep getting caught selling fake stories. And who's pushing the David Grush story? Ross Coulthard, Bryce Zabel, Jeremy Corbell, George Knapp, all these people that keep getting caught selling completely and totally fake stories. But what are the odds? They've each been caught selling like 5 fake stories or 6 fake stories in recent years, but the Dave Grush story is still real, not fake, right? No, I think that the Dave Grush story is going to be revealed for what it is quite soon. And also, I'm aware that Stephen Greenstreet is dropping a new video tomorrow at noon Eastern, I believe. We may cover that as well. We probably will try to jam that one in somewhere. So, yeah, but for now, that's all I got for you. I got a few more shows. Remember, the shows are usually 9 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Thursday at various times. Some days I skip. I'm still working on getting a set schedule, which is difficult with the children and all of that stuff. So I get that people would prefer I'm live every night. In a perfect world, I'd be able to, but there's only so much juice, right? And I'm running on empty some days. We're doing the best that we can here, trucking along. I do want to take a moment to thank all of you new subscribers. Last night was one of our best. It was the best attended show of the year. I think we had 400 and something, 425 aggregated through the various platforms, live viewers. The video's doing great, and I'm seeing that jump. Instead of getting, small number of views, some of our videos are getting like 5,000 views, and it's encouraging to see because we've worked very hard. Also, we are very, very close to hitting 10,000 subscribers. So I'd very much appreciate it if you would help send a weirdo our way. Listen, I'm a weirdo too, so don't take this the wrong way. But if you're enjoying the content we produce here, you're probably a weirdo. And most weirdos have some other weirdo friends. So please copy one of our videos, send it to your friend, ask them to subscribe. We need less than 100 subscribers to get to that 10,000 subscriber mark. We've worked very hard over the last couple of years to get there. Everybody tells me things get easier when you hit that magic number. You start getting more recommends. By the way, the recommends on YouTube are shooting way up lately. I don't know why that is, but we want to keep feeding this beast algorithm and make it happy so it keeps recommending our videos. Thank you to all our new subscribers. Thank you to our longtime subscribers. Please send a weirdo our way. Help us get to that magic number, 10,000 subscribers. I can see the finish line now, and I'd love to get there. So I'd appreciate any help you could be. And also, if you're within the sound of my voice, maybe you're listening to the audio podcast or on Rumble or, Pilled or wherever, but you haven't come on over to YouTube and subscribe. I'd appreciate you doing that. Just go on over to youtube.com, click the little magnifying glass, put in there one word, Truthseekers. Truthseekers, one word. We're the first search result that pops up. You'll see me, the strange guy with sunglasses. Go there, smash the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and come and attend our live broadcasts. I'd really appreciate your help and support. It doesn't cost anything to click that subscribe button, but it does help us. Also, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share these videos. It really does help. So I'll be back tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope you'll be here with us. So that's all I got for you, friends. Until next time, my name is Stephen Cambion. Good night, and God bless all of you.
Beyond that, the fact that we're not alone, we've recovered ontologically shocking but also uniting.
Any evidence, any evidence, any evidence.
Ontologically shocking but also uniting.
Any evidence, any evidence, any evidence.
I'm an intel guy.
Daniel P. Sheehan, classified. Daniel P. Sheehan, classified. Daniel P. Sheehan, classified. Daniel P. Sheehan, classified.
Crash retrieval operation. Psychological phenomena. Crash retrieval operation. Psychological phenomena.
The death of UFO transparency. The death of UFO transparency. The death of UFO transparency. The death of UFO transparency.
Masses. Masses. Ontologically shocking but also uniting. Ontologically shocking but also uniting. Ontologically shocking but also uniting. Ontologically shocking but also uniting.
The death of UFO transparency. The death of UFO transparency. The death of